Treasury for its steadfast support, both financially and through policy. I also commend steering the development of this, and I thank our dedicated staff as well. Your passion and professionalism drive the institution forward. I invite all of us to visit our website, www.ck.k, so that we can access the full strategic plan, more of our publicly available resources as well. It is now my pleasure to welcome our able chair of the chair of our technical and strategy committee, Director Josiah Rotich, who will in turn invite our chair. Director Rotich, come so that you can give your remarks and invite our chair. Can we welcome our Director, Josiah Rotich? Karibu.
Our PS, Dr. Chris Kipto, we want once again to see that we are privileged to have you to create this particular occasion to launch this strategy, which is the fourth strategy of the CAK. Our chair of the board, our DG CAK, my fellow directors, staff of CAK, all the stakeholders who are present. Again, we want to appreciate your coming. This is not taken for granted, given that this strategy belongs to all of us. So we once again want to appreciate your coming. And we also want to appreciate your contribution in terms of the development of this particular strategy. I stand here before you with pleasure to be part of this special occasion. And I want to say that this journey of developing the strategic plan, as the DG said, started last year, August. It's about a year that we have been able to move towards finalizing this particular strategy. Normally we start with the domestic, or rather the internal processes. The necessity of developing a strategy came in to say, why do we need to develop this strategy, or to review the strategy that we have been working on? Three things that happen. One of the things that the development of the strategy is to align with the plan, or the plan of the country at the moment, which was a necessity. The second thing that actually necessitated this review of the plan is what's happening globally. We are all aware that we are in a global environment where so many things are happening which are affecting us. For those following the international news, there are so many things that are happening globally. Things that are happening in the Middle East, things that are happening in Asia are affecting us in terms of the implementation of the CAK mandate. Also, the e-commerce was not a reality at that particular time. We have got the digital trade, which was also now they are key areas. We cannot live and talk about competition and consumer protection without talking about the e-commerce and digital trade. So it became necessary that we review this particular strategy so that it can answer to the demands and the needs of the stakeholders. That is basically what informed the development of this particular strategy. In terms of move forward, I think I don't want to mention some of the things already that for us to be able to respond to the needs of consumers, the things that I've said, it necessitates a review and amendment of the Act. So this particular strategy actually foresee amendment of the Act to make sure that we are able to respond to the needs of the consumers and all the other. Secondly, when we are discharging our mandate, the things that I've said, we are also alive to the economic realities globally and also within. So that as we discuss and also as we make sure that everyone follows the law, we make sure that we are alive to the realities that are happening outside our environment. And also in terms of and evaluation, I want to say that also we have developed a very critical and strong monitoring system, so that as we implement this particular strategy as a board, we have the monitoring aspect a very strong one. Particularly the board, we have got a very strong monitoring system. And also I want to say that the team that we have at CAK, staff and the board, we work together in terms of discharging the mandate of the CAK without any conflict. And also you also may realize that in discharging the mandate of CAK, there could be challenges here and there. Always when you are a watchman, you must have certain challenges. So in terms of the challenges that might arise in the implementation of this particular strategy, we already have developed, based on the lessons that were learned in the first, second, and third strategy, that may come arise. And the priorities that were mentioned earlier on, which I don't want to repeat in the interest of time, we are able to make sure that those particular priorities are discharged to the interest of the. We also believe that given the support of the Treasury, which I must again appreciate the support of the Minister of the Treasury in terms of the financial support, we also must appreciate the State Department for Planning in terms of designing, or rather supporting the design of this particular strategy. We also must appreciate the stakeholders who gave us input in terms of the public participation, so that we are able to respond to the needs of the consumers and everybody else. We must appreciate all of us. And we also want to challenge all of us that as we implement this particular strategy, as we said, this strategy does not belong to the CAK, it belongs to all of us. So we want to call upon all of us that we are part of the implementation. We are going to be part of the implementation by following the law, by raising even challenges that are rising outside there, because if we don't have feedback from the consumers and other stakeholders, we may not be able to 100% discharge or rather implement this particular strategy. So basically, I wanted to make sure that I appreciate all of us as we launch this particular strategy. And as I conclude, so that I give the chance to our chief guest, I want to conclude by saying this strategy belongs to all of us, as a statement that I want to conclude with. So I want to, at this particular point in time, welcome our board chair, Mr. Sheka Kariuki, to give his remarks and invite the chief guest of today to address us and launch this particular strategy. Thank you very much.
Dr. Chris Kipto, Principal Secretary, the National Treasury, Competition Authority of Kenya, board members present, have director investors from the trade ministry. We have Director Goge from the Ministry of Treasury, and we have Director Gedenji from the AG's office. And of course, Mr. David Kimei, Director General, Competition Authority. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You know, in life, anniversaries present an opportunity for us to genuinely reflect on the achievement of set targets and interrogate our shortcomings. More importantly, it's a juncture to consider our experiences and use them to inform the next step of our journey. This applies to both our personal and professional lives. As previously mentioned, the authority has been in existence for more than a decade. I have interacted with the agency for 2.5 years now as the board chairperson. In my other life, as a business person, I truly appreciate the role of fair markets in the success or failure of any commercial venture. Some of you in this room have worked in and with the authority for much longer and expectedly have varying scorecards on its effectiveness. Let me highlight the positives in my scorecard. On balance, I strongly believe the authority has done a fantastic job. This includes sanctioning errant players engaging in price fixing, abuse of dominance, and categorization through the abuse of buyer power mandate. Over 2.7 billion Kenya shillings has been released by powerful buyers to their less powerful suppliers, who are mostly SMEs, securing their survival, and more importantly, securing and saving tens of thousands of jobs. From a consumer welfare perspective, the fact that we can now decipher transaction costs between mobile money and bank wallets before completion is attributable to CAK staff, who currently number 73. Also deserve accolades for facilitating the reduction of the cost of USSD transactions from 10 shillings to 1 shilling currently. The authority's enforcement footprint is also visible in key sectors such as cooking oil, maize and wheat flour, bread and juices, where we have taken corrective action against misinformation by manufacturers on product composition and quality. Consumers will also remember our high-profile interventions in the cement, paints, steel, retail, agriculture, and communication sector, including multi-million shilling penalties for anti-competitive conduct by major players. Another positive, perhaps biased, is that this institution balances enforcement with engagement. Every other month, the authority engages stakeholders from diverse demographics, whether in well-appointed hotels with experts like yourselves or with mama boggers in rural markets. We visit county officials, schools, and host annual workshops to share knowledge and receive unfiltered feedback. However, we have made progress in awareness creation. A significant portion of the population remains unaware of our mandate. Many Kenyans still don't know where to turn when their rights are violated. We are taking steps to address this, including mooring the decentralizing our services to the counties. By being physically present at the county level, maybe by leveraging the existing Huduma centers, we shall bridge this information gap. It's an ongoing, which includes securing sources for extra personnel. Additionally, the enforcement is dynamic. Today, and details are covered by nature. Cases can take up to 3 years from fact-finding stage to closure. The rise of digital technologies makes detection more complex. This calls for equipping our case officers with the right tools and skills to keep apace with the dynamics. I am pleased to note that we recently to aid complex evidence analysis during investigations. Our case officers have been trained to deploy these tools, cutting our expensive dependence on third-party suppliers. Ladies and gentlemen, the authority's mandate is fundamentally public good. We do not levy fines for the sake of it. Our goal is to provide a safe market for consumers and a fair environment where businesses, local and international, can invest and compete on merit. As such, the authority depends heavily on the exchanger for funding. Since inception, we have received over 8 billion Kenya shillings from the government through the National Treasury and Economic Planning, our parent ministry. We are grateful for this continued financial and policy support. Indeed, the authority received additional funding in the last supplementary budget, a true testament to the government's recognition of our important role in society. We recognize that funding will never be sufficient, especially in these lean economic times. However, our commitment to stakeholders is unwavering. We shall continue to demonstrate that the authority is a dynamic, credible, and impactful regulator fully deserving of continued taxpayer support. Through clear prioritization strategy, we will allocate our sources where they deliver the greatest value, focusing on sectors that directly touch the lives of most Kenyans and aligning our interventions with the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda. As I noted earlier, this occasion also marks a turning point, a moment for us to chart a bold new path. As we invite all of you, partners, stakeholders, and the public, to walk this journey with us, let me briefly highlight the key strategic pillars in our new plan. 1, enforcement of competition and consumer protection. Kenya's markets continue to suffer from anti-competitive behavior. Let me be clear, the authority will not tolerate profiteering by breaking the Competition Act. We urge businesses to self-audit their practices and align with the law. We conduct several sensitization forums annually and provide free advisory opinions within 14 days of request. While we continue to encourage voluntary compliance, let it be known that our enforcement arm is ready and decisive deployment where necessary. Number 2, knowledge gaps. Effective regulation must be grounded in evidence, rigorous analysis, and sound legal interpretation. Our must reflect both fact and law. To strengthen this foundation, we will undertake joint research with regional competition authority agencies to deepen regional trade and integration, conduct market inquiries into emerging sectors to support optimal decisions, then deepen partnerships with institutions of higher learning to foster competition culture at an early age, continuously build the capacity of our staff in line with global best practices and emerging issues. And then 3, public awareness. Our brand recognition remains limited. We are responding to this unacceptable position by significantly increasing our investment in nationwide multimedia campaigns. To the media, including those present here today, we thank you for being our voice. Our door is always open to you for clarifications and updates to support your work. The board fully supports management to achieve this ambitious and urgent task, to ensure that every Kenyan, from urban centers to rural communities understands that fair competition is not a skill, but an economic right. And finally, 4, sustainability operate. We tend to ramp up our finance mobilization initiatives and expand our human resource capacity and numbers. In addition, we should optimize our digital to enhance efficient service delivery. Our commitment to strict oversight to ensure that every shilling we receive is prudently utilized while strengthening our internal processes. That is our commitment to all of you. Thank you so much, and God bless. It now gives me immense pleasure to welcome to the stand the PS, Dr. Chris Kipto, the PS of the National Treasury. Please give your hand to the PS.
Shaka Kariuki, the board chair of Competition Authority of Kenya, the board members present, the DG, Mr. Kemei, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hamjambo. Salam alaikum. First, let me apologize. I think I arrived late, and I see I have only 15 minutes to appear before a parliamentary committee in parliament. So I will have to rush. It's unfortunate because this is my first appearance in a function that touches on Competition Authority of Kenya since I was appointed PS National Treasurer. That tells you that I have many other things that keep me busy. But I want to encourage you to invite me more to functions such as this. I was PS for Trade for 4 years, between 2015 December and 2020 January. And Josiah Rotich was my best staff when it came to matters trade negotiation, particularly on rules of origin. I'm happy that he's a member of Competition Authority Board because I think there's value in it. And during that time, I had the opportunity to interact more with Competition Authority because I was dealing with the suppliers. I see that gentleman there, Mr. Bate. I was with him and others on code of conduct for retail sector because we had a number of challenges with our supermarkets. Nakumat was down, Uchumi was down, and I remember we had to ask how do we protect suppliers, and we came up with code of regulations. We wanted to anchor it on law, but at the Ministry of Trade we didn't have a law that we could anchor it on. We had to say it had to be Competition Authority Act, and that was with National Treasury. So I was working very hard to bring Competition Authority all the same. I think what matters is coordination. So it really doesn't matter where it's domiciled, but I think there's need for closer the institutions in government. So I believe Rotich and your team, working with us at National Treasury, we can do more to address all the issues I have seen in terms of mandate for Competition Authority. So let me come back to the speech that my team has prepared, unless they say that I abandoned them. I'm honored, therefore, to join you today as we celebrate a major milestone in the evolution of the Competition Authority, the launch of its 4th strategic plan. Over the years, I have closely followed the authority's commendable work, and I can confidently say that it continues to make an indelible impact on our economy. Amongst its many notable achievements, I must highlight is the strides made in deterring the abuse of buyer power. And I have seen a number of reports. In fact, I met Shaka earlier, even before DGU came. I used to meet him and commend him on what I used to see. Together with, I think he was acting DG at that time. So the 2019 amendments to the Competition Act empowered the authority to protect small suppliers from exploitation. A necessary intervention following the collapse of Nakumat and which left over 40 billion in unpaid debts to small, medium enterprises. The creation of a dedicated unit to address such balances has since brought hope and fairness to the marketplace. And I have seen that actually you have made very good progress in implementing your strategic plan, the third one, which will end just a few days from now. In terms of merger control, I see about 100 billion worth of investments contributing to employment creation and expanded consumer choice. Well done on that. I can also see 62 million in terms of consumer savings from the consumer cases finalized between 2021, 2022, 2024, 2025. Well done on that. Can we clap for them? I see areas you are raising revenues so that you don't have to come to National Treasury for funding. 177 million out of fees and penalties over the last 4 years. I see you recovered in terms of delayed payments to SME suppliers, 2.7 billion. Well done. I can also see number of cases investigated has gone up. Restrictive trade practices investigated has also gone up. Mergers, I'm told every board meeting you have about 4 that are merging. And I was very keen to see after you merge, what happens to those entities? Are they doing well? Are they stronger than they were? That's something probably we need to engage more. I see consumer education programs and advocacy programs, e-filing. So really, I see a lot of progress on your part. So the strategic plan that we are launching today is therefore more than just a document that you are launching. It is a declaration of intent, an embodiment of a commitment to effective action, efficient markets, and inclusive economic development for the people of Kenya. And I think some of you know someone called Abraham Lincoln, if you remember the history of US. He had a metaphor that said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will use the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Why? You cannot cut the tree before sharpening, and you need to plan how to execute. So planning is very important. And I want to emphasize the importance of planning also by giving more examples. It's often said that the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. If you don't prepare it today, then the future is not good for you. And if you want to, if you fail to prepare, then you are preparing to fail. That's also another major common saying. Or if you have a goal and you don't have a plan, then what is it? It's just a wish. So if you want, so you must plan in order for you to say that goal is going to be successful. So I really don't want to say more than that. There are many examples, but just to say that the plan is aligned to the Constitution, to the Vision 2030, to MTP4. I have seen even up to SDGs 2030. board members, like the chairman here, no single institution can deliver such an ambitious program. It requires strong collaboration of ministries, departments, and the private sector, the civil society, and our development. To raise this plan, I conclude low sector that I we came in when we had a lot of challenges. In our economy, high way of high inflation, Europe June 20. Whether worked hard trip over the same period, also Eurobond, we managed to de-risk, and a lot of you who had a lot of dollars, I'm sure, were found flat-footed, and some of you even incurred losses because you were anticipating to make a kill, but unfortunately, that action we took disadvantaged you. But I'm happy to report the shilling now has stabilized for the last almost 2 years at 160 shillings. Oh no, 129, 130. And over the same period, central bank has increased its reserves from about $6 billion. Now we are talking about $10 billion. Let me finish because I'm told the president is looking for me. So we have managed to increase reserves to now over 5 months of import cover. Interest rates have come low. Treasury bills now are at around 8.3 when they were at 16%. And the macroeconomic front is looking good. And so for me, I think we are going forward with still a lot of fiscal challenges, trying to balance expenditures, revenues, and debt. But we will look for another opportunity in the future to discuss more, because I think I'm required now. So it is now my singular honor and pride to officially launch the 4th strategic plan for the Competition Authority of Kenya. And I invite Shaka and the board members to come forward. Thank you very much.
I assist with the podium so we can finish this session quickly. Yes, in the middle. DJ, are you ready? Yeah. So McKenna is issuing the new strategic plans to the board members, our DG, our chair, and our chief guest. So DJ, I think you can play. We'll start counting when it gets to 5. 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. That's the new strategic plan. As you've been informed by our CEO, you can access it on our website, www.cak.go.ke. We don't have many copies here. We are saving the environment, so just check it out on our website. So Dr. Chris will allow just a short photo session, then we can release you kindly. Assist with the 3 chairs at the front, remove that, then just take our chief guest in the middle, chair to his right, our DG to the left, and then the board members can line up behind. Yes, and have it, give the DG a strategic plan, a copy. Yes. Maybe you can take that first, unless there's an issue. Okay, yeah, it's fine, fine. So just do it quickly, as you've heard, our chief guest is needed elsewhere. Okay, excuse the camera guys. If you're done, you let me know. Then we'll excuse the board members at the back, and we have another photo with just the 3 at the front. Thank you very much. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, then they are requesting that we stand. Again, Billy, assist me with the chairs here. So we do it a bit quickly. And face the cameras and look happy. This is a good day for CAK and for the country. Thank you very much. Asante sana, Bwana PS. As the chief guest gets on stage, thank you very much. I'll invite Mr. Omari, our Director, Competition and Consumer Protection, to come on stage and give us some remarks and a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mugambi. I'll speak from here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded an engaging few hours during which we have been introduced to what is contained in our strategic plan. And so my role here is not really to restate what is contained in the strategic plan. It's just to acknowledge those who have made this day a success. So number 1 will be to the chief guest of the day, PS Dr. Chris Kipto in absentia, Mr. Shaka Karaoke, our chairman, and Mr. Rotich, our chairman of the Technical and Strategy Committee, for the stewardship in the development of our strategic plan. The DG, Mr. David Kemei, your leadership in the process of the development of the strategic plan, and all the hours that were put into developing the strategic plan and also planning this day. Also, my colleagues, as well as our stakeholders, both from the public sector and the private sector, we thank you so much for finding time to join us this morning. You'll be with us throughout this journey. You'll be with us throughout the process of implementation of this strategy. We welcome you to work with us. And finally, to our host venue, Villa Rosa Kempinski, for the hospitality that we have had this morning. We are very grateful, and we appreciate for the excellent service that you've given this morning. So without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, therefore, I want to thank you so much for coming, and announce, I think, unless there is anything that we will be free to leave at your own pleasure. We've come to the end of this occasion. Thank you so much for coming.
The strategic plan we're launching today covers the period financial year 2023, 2024, to 2027, 2028. This has been done to ensure that all our programs at the CAK are aligned with the government's 5-year strategic planning cycle. Successful implementation of the strategic plan we're launching here today is highly dependent on various stakeholders, including the National Treasury, our parent ministry, our board members who keep us on toes and in check to ensure that we prudently use our resources, our staff members who come to work every single day and go to the markets to ensure that they remain competitive, and lastly, our stakeholders who submit applications to us, and when called upon, they give us feedback about our interventionary measures.
The authorities' plan is aligned with the government
with the government's 5-year strategic planning cycle. Successful implementation of the strategic plan we're launching here today is highly dependent on various stakeholders, including the National Treasury, our parent ministry, our board members who keep us on toes and in check to ensure that we prudently use our resources, our staff members who come to work every single day and go to the markets to ensure that they remain competitive, and lastly, our stakeholders who submit applications to us, and when called upon, they give us feedback about our interventionary measures.
The authorities' plan is aligned with planning cycle, the bottom-up transformation agenda, the midterm plan, as well as sustainable development goals. The authorities' strategic plan is also structured along 5 key result areas: competitive market, consumer protection, research and advocacy, stakeholder engagement, and institutional excellence. The competitive market basically covers market structure, market regulation, as well as emerging areas of competition. The second key result area is consumer protection. The authority makes commitment and deliberate effort to ensure that consumers are well informed and aware of their rights as enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya, and therefore they are able to know about the requirements of the law as well. The third key result area of the authority strategic plan is research and advocacy, where research supports the core mandate of the authority and informs our decisions and policy recommendation for advocacy purposes. The fourth key result area of the strategic plan is stakeholder engagement. We create awareness among stakeholders in order to increase our visibility, entrench competition culture, and ensure compliance. with the law as well. Finally, the fifth key result areas is institutional excellence, where we look at our internal operation in terms of governance, leveraging of technology, human resource, as well as risk management to ensure our sustainability and efficient delivery of services. In short, the strategic plan is not entirely about regulations and rules. It is about creating fair market, empowering consumers, and in so doing, create a stronger economy for all Kenyans.
The strategic plan we're launching today covers the period financial year 2023, 2024, to 2027, 2028. This has been done to ensure that all our programs at the CAK are aligned with the government's 5-year strategic planning cycle. Successful implementation of the strategic plan we're launching here today is highly dependent on various stakeholders, including the National Treasury, our parent ministry, our board members who keep us on toes and in check to ensure that we prudently use our resources, our staff members who come to work every single day and go to the markets to ensure that they remain competitive, and lastly, our stakeholders who submit applications to us, and when called upon, they give us feedback about our interventionary measures.
The authorities' plan is aligned with the government planning cycle, the bottom-up transformation agenda, the midterm plan, as well as sustainable development goals. The authority's strategic plan is also structured along 5 key result areas: competitive market, consumer protection, research and advocacy, stakeholder engagement, and institutional excellence. The competitive market basically covers market structure, market regulation, as well as emerging areas of competition. The second key result area is consumer protection. The authority makes commitment and deliberate effort to ensure that consumers are well informed and aware of their rights as enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya, and therefore they are able to know about requirements, the law as well. The third key result strategic plan is research.
14 years in existence. The first plan was all about creating a formidable competition agency. So the key issues were looking at the staff members that were there, the skills that they have. We're looking at the policies that the authority has. The second plan was all about flexing our muscles. So here we saw more dawn raids, more investigations. We went to the market for doing suo moto investigations on our own volition. The third strategic plan, which is ending on 30th June 2025, focused on hard enforcement. Here you say we took some sanctions against businesses that breached the law, but also we really concentrated on advocacy efforts.
So during the last strategic plan period, we had a number of interventions in enforcement and market surveillance. In the steel industry, we intervened where we penalized major steel industry players, total of 339 million shillings. We also had an intervention in the paints industry where our intervention resulted in consumer savings of over 900 million shillings. When it comes to abuse of buyer power, our investigations resulted in the penalization of a major retailer, an amount totaling 1.1 billion shillings. We also investigated cases which resulted in the recovery of 2.7 billion shillings in unpaid invoices owed to SMEs. Regarding merger approvals, the authority approved transactions which resulted in the unlocking of investments worth over 100 billion shillings, which translated into an increase in consumer choice and a boost to jobs. These interventions tested and proved the strength of our regulatory framework. On consumer protection, we partnered with Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development to develop a curriculum for junior secondary school, which seeks to empower learners in junior secondary school in more than 100 schools across the country. On our advocacy activities, we engaged over 5,000 stakeholders across the country with the objective of deepening the culture of compliance. On the regional front, The authority is partnering with regional peers to be able to tackle cross-border challenges. This is aimed at promoting regional integration and tackling anti-competitive practices that have a cross-border nature. On automation, the authority has automated its services, making it possible for our stakeholders and consumers to be able to access our services, including filing of mergers and consumer complaints from wherever they are across the world. Internally, we've also automated our services for a quicker turnaround of our services and for our staff to be able to work.